The other day I've heard that the new Unreal Engine 5 showcase they did showed off a bit of Witcher 4, so here I am reacting to it. Let's get into it.
Sleep, is he? The ploughing plonker. Break me pearlies on this blasted pit-ridden tract.
Okay, what's going on?
Where's fear not dry room?
Damn, that lighting though.
Aye, the devil's out there! This running from!
Okay, what is this start? I mean, the graphics look pretty good. I can't really see too much. What the fuck is that? Ew. Ooh.
Salt.
Okay.
Almost had me fooled.
Wait, show the scenery. Why is it all so blurry? Okay. This looks fine. The hair's a bit... Oh my god! Okay. So, before we move on, I wanted to mention something. So, over the past couple of years, Unreal 5 has kind of been getting hyped, but some of the recent games that have come out on Unreal 5, a lot of the time they end up looking like some blurry mess, especially if you don't have the top-of-the-line hardware. And some of this might also be caused by the AI upscaling, but it's because it's very costly to run, because Unreal 5 isn't actually built for open-world real-time games, from what I've heard. Yeah, this looks amazing though.
This is a technological showcase set in the world of The Witcher 4. What you just saw and are going to see now is running on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS with ray tracing. So in the game, you'll be playing as Ciri, a professional monster slayer, a witcher.
Wait, so this is on a standard PlayStation 5. 60 FPS, that's pretty good. However, I'm a bit concerned because if Witcher 4, actually I'm gonna look this up. Okay, so it says PC, PlayStation and Xbox. So I'm hoping they release at the same time on all platforms. But we all know that these games are more optimized for console hardware because it's very specific hardware. So I just hope it doesn't end up the same way that Monster Hunter Wilds did. That game was a nightmare, visually and performance-wise.
The region
Oh my god, that looks so amazing.
And you'll get to explore it in a game. Right now, Ciri is investigating a monster, and after gathering new clues, she is heading back to a nearby village. Alright everyone, meet Kelpie!
Let weeds be weeds, Kelpie.
So just like Geralt had Roach, Ciri has her own loyal companion.
Very nice.
We return to town.
The world looks maybe a little bit too littered with like rocks, bunch of trash, and just like trees and uneven terrain everywhere. I hope that exploration isn't too tedious because of that, but like visually it looks really good.
These two characters need to feel like one. Since
Okay,
you're gonna
there was
explore
a bit
the
of
world on
goofy
horseback,
movement there.
Riding needs to feel seamless, natural, and just fun.
Damn, that looks so
to support
good
that, we're
though.
introducing multi-character motion matching in Unreal. So Siri and Kelpie, they're perfectly synchronized when mounting from any angle and speed.
Albeit this is just a tech demo,
And
so...
we also support root motion movement on Kelpie, so controlling her feels realistic and grounded.
I can't believe it looks this good already. Like, I'm expecting this game to release in like at least 3 years at the earliest. But I might be completely off. Or maybe they just build out the world first and then they kind of build out the gameplay after? Not too sure.
And there are also some really nice improvements to our Unreal Chaos Flesh Solver and these machine-learned deformations. So you've got realistic muscles moving
Yeah, it
and
looks
stretching
really
under
nice,
Kelpie's
but...
skin without compromising the performance there.
Okay. But like, at the same time, why do we need this stuff? Like... This is again, I think, one of the problems with game development nowadays, or just in general. Why exactly are we focusing on this? We all know that this doesn't really matter. What matters is the gameplay, the systems, etc. This level of detailed visuals is unnecessary, especially if the gameplay itself isn't that great. Now, I also understand the perspective of the whole game basically being just pretty visuals. And even if the gameplay isn't as good, you're just kind of there to be in the world. That is also something people want. But we should definitely prioritize developing gameplay first, because I feel like the tech for realistic looking graphics will always keep improving anyways. So if you spend all of your time developing good gameplay systems and loops that are really satisfying, engaging, rewarding, that's gonna be a better use of your time, but that's just my opinion. And also the hair still looks kinda wonky, but it is better,
So
I guess.
let's leave Siri behind for a second and talk about the world itself. So much of the Witcher world is natural, organic, especially Kovir with its dense forest and wild nature.
Yeah, and wild nature is hard. And with nanite geometry,
Yeah, it looks really
we've
nice.
freed artists from so many of their old constraints. But we don't want to rest until everything we do
But
in
again,
Unreal
I feel
has
like
that same
exploring
spirit of
this
freedom.
terrain
There's always more work to do.
might be a
And
hassle.
foliage is a huge piece of that puzzle. So we are excited to introduce nanite foliage.
Okay.
And in order to achieve gorgeous foliage density everywhere, while still being memory efficient, fast to render, we believe that a new idea was needed. So instead of the same card approach we've been using for the past 20 years, artists should be free to take a nanite approach to foliage. To render, we believe that a new
look at that
idea
there.
was needed. So instead of the same card approach we've been using for the past 20 years, artists should be free to take a nanite approach to foliage, modeling every single leaf and pine needle. And the old LOD tricks of the past, they needed a complete
The
rethink.
compression is
And
not
in their
doing it
place,
any
it's a new
favors.
adaptive voxel representation in nanite. It's volumetric,
That compression working, huh?
it's fully 3D, it is super fast to render. And these dense clusters of triangles turn into these cubes, which at a distance, they're no larger than a pixel, and they react to the changing light of our dynamic sun and our shadows, and they allow artists to render whatever amount of foliage is needed to achieve their vision without compromise.
Whenever they say something like that, I'm still quite skeptical. How is this going to look in the real world of gaming? That means not the top of the line hardware, which pretty much no one actually has. Sure, these games are probably going to be optimized for consoles quite well, but PC is where it's important. I hope that Unreal 5 games don't continue with this reputation of unoptimized, buggy, blurry games getting released using Unreal 5. Sure, they might get better over time, as they get optimized, but it's just you can expect on release the game will be terribly optimized, it will look bad, and it will be buggy. So there's pretty much like no reason to pre-order a game or even buy it at a full price. And by the time there's a sale, you can buy it for cheaper, and it's probably gonna be much better optimized, so you'll actually have a decent experience.
And no compromise means how ambitious we are when it comes to bringing our vision to life with incredible visuals. But more than that, together with Epic, we created a faster way to load the world. We can now bring in more content more quickly for the smoothest possible experience as we fly down to catch up with Siri.
Again, skeptical on the smoothest possible experience. It's just, even now, I know some of this is compression, but not all of it. You know, I've played some like mid 2010 games, and even if they didn't have the highest fidelity, the visual quality it had was like very real. I don't know how to explain it. It was kind of more sharp, and a lot of it was carried by lighting. They had like baked lighting or whatever it's called to increase performance back then. But I felt like the games just kind of looked sharper, and it feels like now, with all of this tech, upscaling, and then also Unreal 5 Lumen or whatever tech, it just kind of puts like this blur filter over everything if you're not running on the top-end hardware, that in some ways it kind of makes it feel worse, and also it's not like the most amazing performance usually, so let's keep watching.
Welcome to Valgrest. So Valgrest is a port town, a hub for fishing, trade and mining.
This looks really
It's one of
good.
those places where you can meet shady characters or overhear gossip from other lands.
Honestly, this looks... I would say I like the liveliness, but even at the entrance, I feel like there's just way too much liveliness. Like, I'm not sure if this would actually happen in like a real world. I understand this is a tech demo, so maybe they're like playing up certain things for it, or maybe they're just trying to catch that vibe of that the world is alive. But I feel like they're overdoing it just a bit.
Right, let's leave Kelpie here and explore the marketplace and food.
The marketplace makes sense.
I'm so excited we
Yeah,
can
this
finally
looks really
show you
nice.
some of this stuff. Let's see what Valgrest has to offer.
Bruh.
9 gazes while I present him with a fish for the furry rat will often wink.
Damn. Honestly, yeah, the NPCs are crazy detailed. Like, all of them have different outfits. This is pretty insane. I'm guessing some of this is because of Unreal 5 that they're able to do this, which is great. But again, I also feel like even looking at the ground, it's maybe a bit too textured, and maybe it's like a bit too noisy. Maybe this is for the tech demo specifically, but I just feel like they unlock the capability to do this, like making it look so textury and noisy with people, that they just kind of overdid it. Because they're like, we can do this now, so let's take it to 110%. Maybe that's just me. I feel like some level of this was not completely necessary.
Guys, notice how responsive the world is.
Damn, okay.
Character actions directly affect what happens around you, sometimes even setting off chain reactions. Everything is working together.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like, I guess maybe we're just like in this phase of technology catching up to where we can start exploring these lively aspects in open world games, that we can really start to actually assemble this picture of a lively open world game, And this is just this awkward phase of us catching up and just going towards that direction, because we're definitely still not there. But especially with all the AI advancements and stuff, it's probably not that far off.
Look at this poor
Give it like
gentleman
10 years.
being taught how to fly by an angry innkeeper. That's what happens when you cheat at Gwent.
Last of it, is it?
I mean, yeah, but not to take away from this. This looks amazing. Like, this isn't what a lot of games can offer right now.
Okay, so this is the guy who gave the series Quest his own. Like you probably suspect, he has his own agenda in all of this.
You're off your tits again, Wilfred. Get your ass up.
I wonder if you can actually, like,
typical
look
day's
like this.
toil.
Probably
Who
not.
in? With sure
It's probably like a quest
using
chain
my
thing.
wagons. No eternity is taken to that damn soul.
Oh, I mean, it says not actual gameplay
I
at the
found
bottom.
them.
Makes sense.
And, well, suffice to say, they'll not reach you. As for the soul, found not one speck. I presume this comes as no surprise to you. Now.
Yeah, she looks really good. I think the hair is still a bit not there, but everything else is
smuggling
pretty
trade is of
good.
note.
Even the fur is pretty
The
decent.
manticore that flattened your cart and devoured your men. Quite the opposite.
Manticore? No, them winged hellspawn dwell in the arse end of Creighton. Not here.
While Siri decides what to do about that merchant, let's take a look at the character technology that powers this marketplace. Why don't we listen in on these fishmongers? They're selling their wares, chatting up customers.
Morning, catch this is. Won't find none fresher.
Rugged me ladies after one of
Curse. Get this cleaned and gutted for you. You mind, dearest? Into scene, something more. Got mackerel cod, all Brexit's finest.
Now, this is all cool, and again, this isn't necessarily gameplay. But if this happens in the background while you're doing something else, and they're not even in your field of vision or you can't even hear them, I feel like it's just a wasted performance if this is going on in the background. That's just my opinion.
And there is tons of tech to play here, even in this simple market stall. Metahuman tools, improved
But it is
Unreal
very
smart objects, chaos
impressive
cloth, and more.
that they're able
Yeah,
to like
and-
run this, if they say, on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS.
All of this exists to make sure that the gap in quality between Siri and NPCs is as small as possible.
Yeah, and closing that gap, it's not just about fidelity, right, but also authenticity. They should react to changes in the world around them.
But the prisoner in pillory isn't
Yeah, and that's
exciting enough
usually
for
the
Barbara.
complicated part.
Let's grab everyone's attention with a circus. But the great performance deserves a huge crowd though. Let's crank it up.
So you
Okay.
are seeing tons of optimizations here to many of Unreal systems, including an entirely new Unreal animation framework, allowing
Yeah, this is a lot of NPCs. If it can't run at 60 FPS on a standard PlayStation 5, it is very impressive. And also the fact that they have these interactions, which are usually the most daunting part about making these games feel alive, because there's just so many of them, so there needs to be ways for you to semi-automate all of it, because there's simply just too many interactions that just one chain of interactions would cause, if that makes sense.
We are making this game to be the most immersive and ambitious open world Witcher game ever. And we are making this a reality thanks to our work on Unreal with the team at Epic. I think what we are doing together is going to bring in a new generation of open world RPGs, and I'm so proud of what we accomplished so far.
we are too.
So we're almost done, but before we go, here's a small gift for all Witcher
Again,
fans.
it's just maybe a bit too textury.
A first look at Lanexeter.
Oh my god, okay. Damn, the world is like so big. That's crazy. That's like hella far.
Onward, Kelby. We worked.
I mean, it's good to have a mount, huh? Yeah, that was pretty damn good. I must admit, even with all my skepticism over the years about Unreal 5 and the games, that tech demo looked really good. Even though it's not actual gameplay, the world looks really good. I guess it really all depends on the gameplay, but if they have already created this world and build out this interactive system for the NPCs, I'm expecting that the gameplay is gonna be pretty damn good. So I'd give this tech demo like an 8.5 or a 9, just because it wasn't actual gameplay, and it's also like a tech demo, so we can't really discern much except just the visuals, and we don't really know what the actual performance is going to be. That's all I got for you today, guys. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you!